Good morning. This is going to be fun. Here's question number 1, hypothetical, if you will. Mom has an 8-year-old boy. He plays Little League. One Saturday, Mom is sitting in the bleachers cheering on her son and his team, and somebody hits an errant fly ball that goes foul and ends up striking Mom in the temple, breaking her glasses, concussion, and eventually some eye surgery. Mom sues the league. Will she win? Question number 2. Boy meets girl. Boy and girl fall in love. Boy proposes. Boy gives girl killer diamond ring. Things go bad. Boy and girl break up. Boy asks for the ring back. Girl says, no. Boy sues to get the engagement ring back. Will he win?
Absolutely.
Stop. Hypothetically, you are going to see this particular question break down along gender lines. It always does. I'm going to give you number 3. You are a prosecutor. You have been assigned the following case. Male has broken into a convenience store, intent to rob, ends up fatally shooting the clerk. You are allowed only one witness. And here are your choices. You have an eyewitness in the store itself, hiding behind the Fritos. And you have a witness who can offer certain circumstantial evidence as to the whereabouts of the suspect at the time that the crime occurred. You are going to have to make a choice. I'm going to give you an opportunity for sure to ask me questions about all of these, but right now we're going back to question number 1. Mom got clonked in the noggin by the fly ball, necessitating medical treatment, surgery, expenses, etc. If she sues the league, will she win? Of all the answers that came out, how many of you will vote in favor of answer number 1? She assumed the risk by being there. How many of you will vote in favor of she's not going to win? How many of you will vote in favor of she will win? Okay, one more time. She will win. Hands up and flying. She will not win. Hands up and flying. Okay, the first answerer was absolutely correct. She will not win because she assumed the risk by being where she was. Fly balls happen. Hockey pucks happen. That's an assumed risk. If I had changed that hypo and said she got mauled by another parent who was so eager to get to the umpire and knock him down, she would have won that lawsuit, because that's not a risk you assume. You go to a baseball game, Little League or otherwise, you assume a certain degree of risk, whether or not there is a sign. It does not matter. So that's the answer to question number 1. Now, let's get down and dirty about this engagement ring. I want to know what you think about the engagement ring. You may have questions to ask me. In other words, you may think that the outcome is going to be dependent on some factors that you do not yet know. And if that's the case, let me have it. If the engagement ring is meant to be conditioned on her agreeing to be engaged to him, and the wedding ring is given based on the commitment to marry, didn't she agree to become engaged to him? Didn't she fulfill her end of the bargain? Doesn't she get to keep the ring? All right. May I see a show of hands, please? Let me ask it. I'm taking a breath here. How many of you are giving the ring back to the gentleman? How many of you are leaving the ring with the woman? Wow. Your colleague that mentioned earlier that different states have different laws is absolutely correct. However, the majority of states, as in Pennsylvania, say the ring goes back to the giver. And it does not matter who is responsible for the breakup. Why? Because the court doesn't want to hear this. He dumped me. Why did he dump you? I don't know. Could it have been that you went after him with a cast iron skillet? Well, only because he forgot to bring me flowers. At this point, the judge says, recess, and wants to go out the back door. He does not want to deal with who is responsible, because there is always a reason that one person acted as he or she did. So in the end, rings, engagement rings, are considered to be conditional gifts based on upcoming marriage. If the marriage does not happen, the ring goes back to the giver. One of you, I believe it was you, made mention of one important fact. And gentlemen, if you didn't know it before, I'm giving you a definite heads up here. If you are cheap and you are trying to get twofers out of your engagement ring, so you choose to give it on her birthday, or you give it to her for Christmas, or you give it to her for Valentine's Day so you don't have to buy another gift, you're going to have trouble getting it back. So make sure that when you do decide to take the plunge, you pick just an ordinary Thursday that has nothing to do with anything else. And in most states, regardless of fault, the ring goes back if the marriage does not take place. All right, Madam, Mr. Prosecutor, you have a violent crime on your hands. You have one witness. What would you like to know, if anything, before you decide which witness you're going to use? All right, Mr. Madam Prosecutor, who do you want? Do you want your eyewitness, or do you want the circumstantial witness? How many of you want your eyewitness? How many of you want the circumstantial person? Okay, it looks pretty overwhelming in favor of the eyewitness, right? Let me ask you a few things. About 15 minutes ago, someone came in here to tell me something. Can you please describe the person?
Male.
Okay, I'll take male. We're off to a good start. All the questions you asked me about the eyewitness, folks, the eyewitness was you. You were the eyewitness. You were not in any danger whatsoever. You were not staring down the barrel of a gun. No one was being harmed in front of you. Your intelligence level, I assume, is high. And that's why I gave you kudos for that. Do you wear glasses? Well, obviously, if you need them. Otherwise, you do not. So, at this point, the police is here, and this is what I get to tell them. Maybe a male, dressed in, we have a differential here about exactly what the person was wearing, whether there was facial hair or not. This person was somewhere between his late 20s and his early 40s, it's helpful, with dark hair. He was Caucasian, anywhere between 5'6" and 5'11", and anywhere between 210 and 250 pounds. Whoopee. What's the point of this exercise? Eyewitness is not, well, I'm not going to go so far as to say not credible. I'm going to go far enough as to say not always as reliable as you might think. Because mostly, when you are looking at something that sparks your interest, you are not trying to take an inventory of a future suspect. You are looking at what's going on without seeing who the perpetrator really is. How many of you actually think you would be able to pick out our plant from a lineup of people who look pretty much the same and are wearing the same clothes with any degree of certainty? And you see, this has only been 20 minutes since you saw him. What if it was 2 weeks? Okay, you got a little bit of torts, a little bit of contracts, a little bit of criminal law. Hi everyone, I'm Professor Leslie Johnson. I hope you enjoyed the video you just saw. I certainly enjoy teaching the mock class, and I wanted to talk with you just a bit about Widener and encourage you to come and see our campus. Come to our classes. Come and enjoy the social stimulation as well as the intellectual stimulation, because there's so much to offer here. Widener Law is one of the friendliest law schools you are ever going to find. You will not find faculty and staff anywhere who are more interested and committed to your success and more accessible to help with any concerns or questions you might have. So please take a moment and come and visit us here at Widener. I know you're going to be impressed. How do I know it? Not just because I teach here, but because I'm a proud graduate of Widener Law School, and I will tell you, I wouldn't have gone anywhere else. Widener's a wonderful place to be. Come see us.